I followed my dreams and opened an antique store to have adventures and spend time as a family. Sometimes you have to climb a mountain and open some new doors to find the treasures inside. This is our life, this is our adventure, and this is Curiosity Inc. Well, hi everyone, and I cannot believe we hit 100,000 subscribers, so thank you all very much for your continued support as we try and do something fun with our family and fun at the shop. And really, this was a way for me, when I first started this just under a couple years ago, to have some fun at the store. I had some downtime, thought I'd do some product walkthroughs, and that's why some of those early videos, we hadn't figured out the levels of the music, and there's, a little bit of work that needs to be done on them, but I left them up so you can kind of see the journey. We've moved into now apparently buying hoarder houses and properties and antique stores and old cars. So we have all kinds of fun and appreciate you guys coming on these adventures with us. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts that you have come on this adventure with us, and we are now surpassed 100,000. So that's really cool. If you ever find yourself in the Edmonton area, you got to come check us out and come see us in person. I mean, I do work the store too. I'm here working away right now. So I thought in honor of the 100,000th subscriber, I do an unboxing with you. I did bring back some boxes from the old house and some estates that I've been to that I have not gone through yet. So we're going to do an unboxing on camera, and I'll try and end it off with a song because I'm overdue by putting a little song on the video today. So hope you enjoy this episode as we celebrate our 100,000th subscriber. Don't know who you were, but welcome, appreciate it. And let's get cracking and do some unboxing. So the first box we have here, I just kind of crammed a few things in here when I was leaving. One, I see there is an old gas mask, and it's dated 1943, so this would have been right in the heart of World War II. It looks like it's got its extra eye shields, really good shape, and the canisters are in the bottom. Now apparently somebody was warning me that the canisters can kind of go bad after a while, and it might become a little bit toxic, so we're gonna leave that in the bag. But the original Darth Vader was actually designed after a German helmet with a gas mask on. So if you ever see pictures of Darth Vader, he was really designed after something like this. So kind of a odd fact. We have here some old pictures. So it looks like scenes from the prairie. Lots of family photos. Now, since these are family pictures, I'm going to make sure that they go back to the family. So I will kind of tuck these away and give them back to the family so they can do something with it. Look at the old cars. Manitou Lake at Watrous. So it looks like they're having some sort of event going on there with all the old cars together. It's pretty cool. You can tell they're old pictures. Look at this chocolate box this is in. It's an oldie. We'll keep that aside to give back to the family. This one looks like it is possibly little patches, historic. Maybe they were going to make a quilt. Actually, that looks like exactly what they were doing. They must have been piecing a quilt together at some point out of these little silk patches. They almost look like they would have come maybe inside of a tea box or something like that. Maybe if you're watching at home and you know more of what these are. Looks like lots of little flags and things. Pretty cool. I know there are people who collect quilts and quilting materials, so pretty neat. This, I believe, would have been originally a lamp. You can kind of tell this is where you would have turned it on and off, and it's a basket full of Scotty dogs. So kind of a neat little thing. Even though it's not a lamp anymore, you could turn it back into one, or even just light it with an LED and have a glowing basket of Scotty dogs. But what a cute little thing, and people do collect dogs and Scotty stuff, so that's kind of neat. This is from Dawson City, so famous gold rush town. It's where all the people were headed to try and make their riches. There's the purse, of course, the hand-tooled purse. We brought this back because I know there's a couple people interested in it, so kind of showed you that one. Now this purse I brought back, not because I think the purse itself is valuable, but I think there might be something else in here, so we'll go through. All right, so the purse. A lot of pennies, a lot of coins, but there is the occasional gold necklace, and we'll have to check that out and see if it's real. My wife is the official one to check out jewelry, but pill bottles full of jewelry and stuff too, so we will take that back and see. There's probably a lot of it's costume, but even old costume jewelry is collectible. So a nice little purse full of stuff. And we saw this is the old crochet book. It dates to 1915, so that's a pretty old piece. And if someone is making, you know, wants to make historic patterns or pieces, this is just the right sort of thing you'd want to get, so you know how they did it back in the old days. So pretty cool. A phone, more jewelry. Put that up with the jewelry pile. And this was that picture of the hot rod I brought back. I thought that was really cool because that's an early piece of hot rodding history. You can see the guys put kind of a, you know, 1950, not the most attractive front end on this car. Probably, you know, hot rod, unfinished. Neat thing though. There is a pocket watch and a couple other watches in here. So I'll bring these up and put these on the counter. I actually use this little book to put it on. So these, they seem to be a Timex family. So I've been finding lots of Timex. And that's exactly what we have here. But they, you know, that said, they do take a licking and keep on ticking. Looks like some more or costume jewelry, Egyptian themed, which was popular in the late 1800s and then again in the 20s and 30s. So, you know, if that's indicative of the year. Another watch, another Timex, not a surprise. Little funny pin. And these are military, well, in that case, air cadets, hat badges or badges. These are most likely hat badges. 16th Regiment, perhaps. So there is some military stuff, and AWC Waltham. So Waltham is a good brand to watch, and actually, I just moved it and noticed that it's already ticking. So this watch is apparently in working order. So some would say that the jewels don't matter that much on a watch. On a pocket watch, they tend to matter. Usually a higher jewel movement in a watch is good, but yeah, this is probably going to be about a 17 or 15 jewel. So good piece. Nice size watch too. Probably, you know, well over probably 45 millimeters across. Good item. So we'll go into the next box and see what we have. So we'll dig through a couple of the other small boxes that I brought back. And there was one kind of surprise, and I'll show you what it is. So not necessarily this one. I did see that this is you know, buttons that they probably saved off of a uniform. So we'll have to check what regiment that was. But, you know, most likely World War II, somewhere in there. Some buttons and pins and badges. Some more buttons. But we did come across a box. Not this one. We'll come back to this one in a second. Shoebox. And it's full of silver. Now, this is all hallmarked, and I believe all of it is sterling, so it means this is all solid silver. There's quite a few pieces in here. Some of it's English, some of it's perhaps German. So you have to kind of go through and make sure that you check all your hallmarks, because even if it's hallmarked, it could still just mean that it's plated. But I have a feeling that most of this in here is going to be solid silver. So that's a pretty heavy box of silver. That'd make a nice fine bar of silver. But there are people who will buy silver spoons and forks, and they do all kinds of creative things with them. I mean, you could buy it and collect it. And you have to make sure that you're not, you know, taking or repurposing something that maybe has some sort of significance, like maybe came off a military base or was an officer's. But people will make rings out of them. People will make jewelry out of them. People will melt them down and just have it as a commodity. So finding a box of silver is a pretty cool thing. So we have a box of silver, and that's not a bad find. The other little box that's here is, again, another Burke's box there. So there's bits of pocket watches. There's pocket watch, but there's a couple complete watches in here. I don't know if this one's working. We'll find out here. It's kind of anticlimactic if it doesn't go. Oh no, there it goes. So another working watch, and this one is sold at Calgary, Alberta. So this is more of a local piece. I'll have to find out. It wouldn't have been made there most likely, but sold at a jeweler's in Calgary. So that's cool to find a local one. This could be the case. Looks like a silver case, sterling. So that's a sterling silver. That's solid silver. So that's a nice silver case. That's probably for the. That's probably the guts for that watch right there, which would make sense because it's a pretty fancy dial. So lots of watch bits and pieces. There's some silver lockets. That one's dated 1880. That would be 1880, not 1980. So November 12th, 1880. So that would have probably held, yeah, hair is usually what I know you probably think that's gross, but that's what people did. They'd put some of their sweetheart's hair in there and then carry it with them. So you have a memento. It's kind of sweet. Silver rings. Another locket here. This one's most likely gold. You can tell how soft and indented it is. That's generally a sign of solid gold because it is a very thin and soft metal. If it's built up with other sorts of steels or if it's plated, you won't see that kind of denting. So I would say that's probably going to be solid gold. So some gold, some more chain, all sorts of coins and knickknacks in here. Lots of rings. Maybe a couple gold rings. You know, it's always exciting to come across little bits of gold. And yeah, just generally some neat stuff. So as we go through, I'm sure we'll find more interesting stuff in this box. You know, it looks like maybe this has some of the more precious metals inside of it. So with a little bit of going through, you know, maybe we'll find a couple treasures. And this is kind of the last box we're going to go through. Let's see what there is. Something about monkeys. I think it was the movie Close Encounters where the monkey just kind of starts going all on its own when the alien spaceship is nearby. Maybe that's why people don't like these things, but kind of iconic. So he's not playing the cymbals, but he is a creepy monkey. These are tapestries. That's what these are. And judging by the subject matter, you know, potentially quite old. So I'm not by any means an expert on tapestry, so I'm welcome anyone who's watching who knows tapestries and wants to chime in on potential age on these guys. That's got to be a pretty old piece, and I think there's a couple of them in here. There's another one right here, so I'll see if I can get a good image of this. So this one appears to be sort of a scene with a horse, and perhaps they're getting it ready, or playing music, maybe a minstrel. Faded, probably was, you know, maybe framed, or it's a little bit frayed now on one side, but it's another kind of interesting piece. We have some kerchiefs, one from our city of Edmonton, Alberta, where I'm from, and another one that's more, I think it's from a sporting event from the games. Yeah, Empire Games 1962, and this other one's probably more, you know, 50s or similar vintage. Kind of a neat thing. Priceless for probably a Model T in 1925, so that would be still Model T at that time. I think they're getting to Model A's around then too, but that's kind of a neat thing. If you own a car, if you own an old Model T or Model A, that's something you might want to have. And this clock is kind of cool, actually. If you look at it, it's an 8-day clock, but if you notice, it mounts into something. This is most likely out of the dashboard of a car. So in the old days when you had a clock in your car, it wasn't wired up, it was wind up. You had to wind the thing up. So this would have been an in-dash clock for either a car, or in this case, perhaps even an aircraft, because it is black dial with luminescent Arabic numbers. So this could have been something that was actually inside of an airplane, because in a car you often see white backgrounds. In military, everything's blacked out just so, you know, nothing really reflects. So that could be a vintage piece of aircraft. And actually, if you look at the paint, it is kind of military green. So maybe underneath here we'll find some markings that tell us more of the story. I'll take that off in a second. Okay, so all it says underneath is AC made in USA. So it could very well be military. You know, it does have the military green drab on it, and it is blacked out. You know, we'll find out some more info on that, but maybe that is out of an aircraft, which would be really cool. That's a nice find. We have an egg, but what does it depict? It's not a nesting egg. Like sometimes you see Ukrainian eggs like this. There's nothing else inside of it, but I did see that it comes apart, so we're going to take it apart and have a look. See if it tells us anything else. Maybe French. April 19th, 1908. Well, that's an oldie. Kind of a cool piece, maybe folk art, hand carved and embellished. Kind of an interesting item. And they're kissing. That's very cute. Maybe it was a wedding gift or something along those lines. Pretty neat. little slot machine, probably from the 50s. Well, it's made in the USA, so that's a sign that it's a little bit older, because not long after things went to Japan and then to China. But this one's still made in the States, so it's kind of a neat little one-armed bandit. And notice I have a tin plate car, and the way to tell if this is a reproduction or not is to check the bottom, and you're looking to see if it says made in China or made in Japan. Made in Japan would mean that it's 1950s, so this would be an original, and it looks like it's probably battery operated. That's where your battery would go, right in there. And he probably drove around. I would think that it had probably a head of a little racer on there. It's on and off switch. After a bit of a cleaning, this would probably come right back up. That's mostly just surface dirt on this. So it'd have a spiffy little tin plate car. Kind of cool. Tiny little boxing gloves. Judging by their construction, this is, you know, novelty, could be 30s or 40s, maybe into the 50s. That's an old pair of boxing gloves though. Probably hung off the rearview mirror of a car at some point. There's some little patches, maybe from shooting club or maybe military. Let's see what else. Little soapstone carving of some sort. I can't quite make out what it is, but it's definitely hand tooled and hand carved. Some old glasses in here. And let's see, some more patches. Some keys for something, which I have not found yet. This one's marked pearls. Oh, that's kind of cool. Well, if those are real black pearls, that would be a pretty good score right there. But I always reserve enthusiasm until I get these things checked out. Because just because it says pearls on the box doesn't mean that it is, but it could be. And that's kind of looks like an Art Nouveau kind of piece, maybe with gold embellishment. Pretty neat. There's another one there too. That's not pearls, but this one might be. That'd be really cool. And here is a really old camera. Now this one has a nice little leather pouch, but this has got to be one of the first pocket cameras ever made. You don't see too many that are this small, and it says use autographic film. And it is a really cute little camera. I bet it probably pops out too. Let's see if I can make it. It's probably an accordion style, so I'll see if I can pop it out. And as suspected, it was an accordion style camera, and it is the Vest Pocket Kodak. I'm not overly familiar with these because frankly, I don't have them come through very often, but we do get other sorts of, you know, accordion style cameras, and they always sell well. People love to decorate with them, and there are people who will actually try and take pictures with these too. As much as it's difficult to find film for, there are people who do it. That's just a cute little guy, and it's so compact. Look at that. It fits right in your hand. It's so cool. Let's see what's at the bottom of the box here. Looks like an ice pick. Electrical tool company out of Cincinnati. Not sure what they would have used this. It looks to me like an ice pick, but it's kind of flimsy. That wouldn't be a very good ice pick. Maybe that explains why it's all bent. They tried using it and it didn't work too well. Not a great promotional item for your business. Here's a little set of glasses. It would have been for your fancy lady going on out in the town, but these sorts of glasses have come back in fashion. And if you're a stylish young lady now, you might fancy a pair of these or even get them turned into sunglasses and have the coolest pair of sunglasses out there. So glasses like this do sell very well for us because there are people who reuse these. What's this? A little plastic bag. I'm going to take this out. Oh, gross. That's a human tooth. Ugh. I know why they kept it. It's somebody's gold teeth, and it still has a tooth attached. Ugh. That's gross. I mean, yeah, it's gold. I'm sure that's going to be real gold. But that's so gross. Ugh. Well, I guess if you lose your grill, you better put it in a baggie and keep it safe. As disturbing as it is, a lot of people would keep something like gold teeth. It kind of makes me nervous about how they got them, though, considering I did find this as well, which appears to be kind of a really early 1920s or earlier embalming machine. So hopefully there wasn't any, anybody in the family that worked at the funeral home, because then that'd be pretty gross. Ugh. A lot of treasures, but now what I have to do is price this stuff and get it out on the market. So I don't know if anybody's gonna wanna buy somebody's broken off old tooth. That's just disgusting. It will have value because it's gold. Somebody will probably melt that thing down. But I will go through and sort out the pocket watches and figure out what in the jewelry is real and can be salvaged, what has value and what doesn't. So there could be a few good treasures in here, plus a box full of silver spoons and forks and knives. So lots of great finds. So, you know, the treasures just keep coming, and we're more than happy to put it in the shop. We have lots of cool, interesting things, and this sort of stuff fits right in. So I'm gonna get busy here getting stuff priced and put away. But I think I promised you guys a song, so I gotta think about what that's gonna be. So by the time you see me next, hopefully I'll have that figured out.
Well, my friends are gone, my hair is gray, I ache in the places I used to play, and I'm crazy for love, but I'm not coming on. I'm just paying my rent every day in the Tower of Song. I said to Hank Williams, how lonely does it get? Hank Williams hasn't answered yet. I can hear him coughing all night long. 100 floors above me in the Tower of Song. I was born like this, I had no choice. I was born with the gift of a golden voice and 27 angels from the great beyond. They tied me to this table right here in the Tower of Song. So you can stick your little pins in that voodoo doll, but I'm very sorry, baby, doesn't look like me at all. And I'm standing by the window where the light is strong. They don't let a woman kill you, not in the Tower of Song. Now you can say that I've grown bitter, this you may be sure. The rich got their channels in the bedrooms of the poor, and there's a mighty judgment coming, but I may be wrong. You see, you hear those funny voices in the Tower of Song. I see you standing on the other side. I don't know how the river got so wide. I loved you, baby, way back when. And all the bridges burn we might have crossed. I feel so close to everything we've lost, but we'll never have to lose it again. I'll bid you farewell, don't know when I'll be back. Moving us tomorrow to the tower down the track, and you'll be hearing from me, baby, long after I'm gone. I'll be speaking to you sweetly from a window in the Tower of Song. places where I used to play, and I'm crazy for love, but I'm not coming home. I'm just paying my rent every day in the Tower